So I felt like they were gonna try to set me up with something like because they're being really sleazy at work. They're pretending like we're not teaching, but at the same time they are teaching and they're trying to hide things from the government. So I thought they were gonna try to set me up with something and get me accused of hiding things from the government because they were literally getting me to take the tests away from the kids and just pretending like there was a raid or like, oh, the government's here, take the tests away from the kids, and so on. So once I thought it was sketchy, I just told him I just quit my job. I was like, hey, you know what? Like I can't do this. This seems kind of illegal. So this is not really for me. So I cannot do this. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna quit my job. And once I quit my job, my manager comes and she's like, oh no, it's nothing, it's nothing. This is not illegal. I'm like, how do you know it's not illegal? If it's not illegal, then why are you hiding from the government? Why are you concerned about getting raids? And why? I'm like, if something happens, you're making me take the tests away from the kids. You're making me teach them, give them writing material, and at the same time, you're being sleazy and you're hiding things from the government. So if something does happen, I'm gonna be the one on the hook because they're gonna accuse me of something when clearly it's you're the one who's making me do that. Even though you're my employer, end of the day, you're trying to get me to do illegal things. So this is not really for me. So I'm sorry, but I cannot do this. So I quit my job and I decided to leave China. And I booked my flight. My manager is like telling me that I need to turn in my passport and need to give it to the authorities to cancel my visa. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my passport. There's no way I'm giving you my passport. Anyways, I booked a flight, and as soon as they saw that I was leaving China, my gang stalking got really fucking intense. So now I had like cops following me around in China, cop cars. I had random people approaching me in the street. Like one day I was walking and this random dude approached me in the street. He's like, hey, you're an English teacher? Are you an English teacher? Are you an English teacher? I'm like, what the fuck? I just ignored him. I walked away. I was like, fuck this guy. So when that happens, then I came home and I had people in my elevator yelling at me. I had people approaching me in the street randomly and trying to engage me into some kind of conversation, but I just ignored the whole thing. I was like, this is not happening. I'm ignoring it, and anyways, gang stalking went on for a few days, and then it was time for my flight, so I just left. So I went and booked. I went to the airport, and while I was at the airport, my employer's calling me, my manager's calling me. They're just like, hey, where are you? Where are you? We need to talk to you. I'm like, I already quit my job, so what is there really to talk about, right? Done. So anyways, we go on to. I go on to the airport, and I went in all my luggage. So I had to go from Hangzhou to Urumqi, and from Urumqi I had to leave the country. So I'm at Hangzhou, and all my luggage goes through, no issues, no problems. Once I get to Urumqi and I'm checking in my flight over there, they tell me they're gonna check my luggage again. So the guy, he takes my passport and he takes one of my other IDs that I needed to get into the next country that I was going into. So he takes my ID, he takes my passport, and he's like, hey, you got it selected for the extra search of your luggage or something. So you got to go to the back room and get your luggage searched. And I'm like, okay, can you give me my IDs and the passport back? And he goes, oh no, I'll give it to you later. Just go get your luggage checked. So once that's done, then I'll give you your ID. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm like, we're at the airport, there's cameras everywhere, what is this guy really gonna do? So I go to the back room, he's searching my luggage and he's looking at things that are like, not even that important. And like he's just going, look at my toothbrush. He's looking at my, he's like, what is this? What? I'm like, it's a freaking toothbrush. What the fuck do you think? It's just going through all these random things that that weren't. They were just like normal essential thing, like a first aid kit. He's just searching for pretty much everything. He's just going through every little thing inside my luggage. So, anyways, I did the search, and once the search was done, the dude approaches me. The dude who had my passport approaches me, and he's like, gives me back my passport, and I'm like, where's my ID? And he's like, I gave it back to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. You have my ID. He pretended like he gave me back my ID. He's like, okay, let me look for it. He starts searching for the ID. Starts searching. Spends like half an hour searching. I'm like, you know what? I need that ID to enter the new country that I'm going into. So you better give it to me. Don't stop making excuses. Go get my ID. He just kept playing games for like hours, and then he goes to this back room and pretends like, he's searching for it, and eventually, after playing around for like an hour, he gives me back my ID. At the airport, I had this other individual approach me, and he's like, hey, are you Pakistani? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I ignore it. And when I was checking in, the same individual approaches me, and he's like, because it was a flight to Pakistan, he's like, oh, you said you were in Pakistani, blah, 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 blah. He starts like, giving me shit for it. I'm like, who the fuck are you, first of all? Second, you see my passport? Does it look like a Pakistani passport to you? So, who the fuck are you to even ask me that question? Like, I don't have to tell you where I'm from or what country I belong to or what country I'm citizen of. Anyways, really weird experience. A lot of gang stalking in China. So it's very clear China is also controlled by the same same entity that controls Canada, controls the West, and it controls pretty much every nation on this earth. So, so Illuminati is full control in China. China and Canada have the same government, which is same as Pakistan's government as well. These countries, they pretend to be, against each other, but they're all the same. They're all ruled by the same people. They're all pretty much governed by demons. Their gang stalking goes on in all of them, and they're pretty much the same. Like it's the one world government. It's already there. This demonic system, demons are running the whole show. They're running China, they run the US, they run Canada, they run the Middle East, Pakistan, everywhere. Everywhere demons are in complete control. So everybody needs to keep that in mind. When you're thinking, oh, China is our enemy, no. China is the same government as your country. It's run by the same demons. They run the US, they run pretty much every other nation in this world.